After the just ended National Science and Maths Quiz 2021, Prempeh College emerged the winners. In the finals, they beat the two schools, Presec Legon and Kita Senior High School. Now, Prempeh College had been doing very well prior to the finals, and they've been recording one of the highest scores in the competition. As you might know, um, now with Absa Bank and then other sponsors on board, those who win the highest points in a certain level of the competition are given amounts of money um, according to how much points they got. So, for example, if you got 10 points, you multiply it by like 200 CDs and you make an amount of money. So the more points you have, the more money you're able to win. Okay, so now that being said, a lot of people were banking their wins on either Pesek or Kita SHS because Pesek had won it several times. They've won it six times. And then also Kita was a school that which is from the Volta region that surprised me because they had not been to the finals before, and when you had watched their performances in this competition, you'd notice that there was just something remarkable about them. Even in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, they were surprising a lot of people, including even the quiz mistress, Madam Elsie Ifa Kaufman. There was this young gentleman among them in the Kita contestants. His name was Bright. Yeah, Bright. So he and then his other mates, one Francisca and another Lutrot, were the ones who were championing their school. Though they didn't take the finals, they made a lot of waves because the Bright guy was able to answer questions even before the quiz mistress completed the questions. So he had a lot of people surprised. Even the quiz mistress was shocked, and at a point in the competition, she was speechless, and she was wondering how come the guy could have got it correct when she hadn't even finished mentioning the rest of the equations for him to even calculate it with. So because of all these things, people had their fingers crossed on Kita Senior High School, though they hadn't been to the finals because of their impressive performance and the surprise factor that they were giving a lot of people. People had their fingers crossed on Kita SHS and also Pesek, but Prempeh, which is also a very good school, which no one can argue about from way back in the day. When we are talking about good schools, you cannot mention without putting Prempeh College inside there. We all know this. But Prempeh was tremendous in the competition. It wasn't like they were not expecting them to win. They just felt because of the odd, the differences between the other two schools that were going toe to toe with, that's Presec and Kita. It was obvious that it wasn't going to go for Prempeh, but at the finals they proved, all those people who had their fingers crossed against them wrong. Prempeh was able to win the final competition, and people were very very amazed about on their performance. We should say if you take the way they answer the questions. Now we are not talking about only the finals, but if you take the way they answer the questions and the way they were relaxed, during the competition, it was very evident that this school had prepared prior to this event. They had prepared well, adequately. This is a type of performance that can only come from a lot of practice. When you're going to play maybe a game of football or basketball, you can tell those who are good by the way they practice, and they practice to the extent that now they can pull off some stunts that look very extraordinary, and yet they do it easily. They find this just calmness and playing. They have control over the ball. Yeah, that was how Prempeh was handling the competition. Whereas the other schools would be trying to get it fast and trying to fidget ways, and you could see anxiety over some of their faces of these contestants. It wasn't so for Prempeh College, and a lot of people could see that. Yeah, there's a lot of work that was done there. So even before we continue with the news, let's say a big shout out to Prempeh College. Applause to the students, the teachers, and the whole board of all those who were supporting Prempeh College to come to this competition. They did very well, very 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 well. There's no doubt about that. Good. Now after the competition, a lot of people were interviewed, and there was so much joy in the air, and you should see the reactions on the faces of the crowds which supported each of the schools. When these competitions are going on, there's a lot of verbal what word should we use, verbal fights. Yeah, it's not really a fight, but we just like to call it a fight. You know how these senior high schools are. One school will say the other school is not too good, and the other school will also come and say something funny about the school, and they'll be all showing who can laugh at who the most. So after the finals, some people were laughing at Prempeh College because they had this motto all during the program, all during the competition. Because they had won six. If they had won this particular competition, the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz, it would have been the seventh trophy they'll be taking home. So to get the seventh trophy, they had a motto which said, "We are seven, a living God." But the seven was not spelled the same way you would serve somebody like SERV, but it was spelled SEVEN. So we are seven, a living God. We are seven, just to spice it up for them. So after they lost, people were asking them, are they still serving a living God, or is their God dead? You know how some schools can be. There was a lot of things people said to each of the schools, and even with Kita, some people were wondering whether the Votarian magic was not working for them anymore, because some people attributed the wins of Kita to some Votarian source, because you know how people talk about this Volta region and medicine and spiritual things. So they said that was the only way this Skater SHS was able to answer some questions, even without the question being fully read. So people had their own dive and their own digs into it, going at the two schools that had lost in the finals. But hey, before we go ahead, they had not won the 2021, but they were second and third, so we don't see them too much as losers. It's just that they didn't take the trophy home. Good. Now, Prempeh College have promised to do this over again. In a way, we feel like they are not bragging, because when you look at the scores of all the schools, Prempeh was always the highest. They just had this difference, and the margin between them and then the other schools was just so great. Like even in the semi-finals, you would have noticed that Prempeh was like 67 points, meanwhile the other schools were 55 and 50. You get it? So it was even over 10 points difference, and that was amazing. So the contestants, as well as the fans of Prempeh College, that is those old students of Prempeh College, have promised that they are going to do it over again. And there are some people who have even made some very bold statements. Now this is one of the statements which we had. They claim they are going to take the trophy from now to like the next 5 years. They are going to be the ones who are going to be winning the trophy. And as much as it seems like they are bragging, some of us feel like they can actually do it. You see, sometimes there is the need to put in that extra word to make things look good on your part. But this is serious. Prempeh was very prepared. We saw the difference between them and other schools, and it was clear that these people were very prepared. So if they can continue to keep up with this level of preparation, for the next coming years. We wouldn't be surprised if they do it and do it over again. The only thing is, schools like PSEC and the like were promising them that, oh, this is just a once in a while thing for them, so they were not going to give them the chance the next time. Some of them were claiming that, oh, they decided to let Prempeh win because they had won too many times. You know how schools are; they wouldn't even take a loss easily. They would try and find ways to make themselves look good. So some fans of PSEC Legon were like, the only reason Prempeh College won was because they decided to let them win, because they had won it many times, and they are one of the highest trophy winners of this national science and maths quiz competition. So it's not really painful to them that Prempeh won it. On all those things. But is it really possible for Prempeh to win for like 5 years consecutively or continuously? Is it really possible that Prempeh can continue to win and win and win and win and win and win and win? It could be. I think it is. I think it is. If there's not going to be another school that will be more prepared than them, then probably there would be. We don't know how come they were able to go higher than all the other schools, if not for preparation. Or maybe, who knows, the monies and all the sponsors packages that came along with the competition was all the things that was part of all the things that motivated them to win. Because if you look back, like even 10 years ago, so like 2011, I'm telling you, all these sponsors you are seeing, none of them was like there in 2011, and those that were there, they were not doing this much like they are doing right now. So the National Science and Maths Quiz has taken a whole different turn. For those of you who haven't been watching for a while, or for those of you who have left school and haven't really paid attention to this competition ever since, it has changed. So we are looking at people not only winning and going home with bragging rights, but they are going home with incentives, with packages, with cars, with stuff. Well, not cars. No one is giving them cars yet, but yeah, some, I think, was it last year or last 2 years, we saw and we heard that Kennedy Japan gave some cars to some finalists of the Prempeh Legon for winning. Yeah, I think some Corollas or something like that. Yeah, so but that he wasn't a sponsor, but you get what we are saying. For things to change so much, who knows, maybe even Prempeh College are going to get some cars from here. But for things to change so much from then to now, there's the need for the students to put in their all to win something home, and it's a good thing. Judging from the way, the zeal, you can see there's just so much passion and the way they go about it now. And if you are ever in the auditorium when the questions are being answered, trust me, it's a different feeling from when you are watching it at home. It is crazy. You can feel the whole atmosphere vibrate. There's just this strong, wow, it's a whole different ambience altogether. So for those of you who are around the venues, next time try and go there. This year's one was held in Kumasi. We don't know when the next one will be held, but it's cool. It's cool. First, it used to be only held in Accra. One of the things that have changed is that now they are not sticking only to Accra, but to other places as well. So this time was Kumasi. Who knows where the next one will go to? Maybe the central region or the eastern region. We don't know. Or maybe it might come back to Accra. Oh yeah, whichever one, people will still find a way to go. So all in all, there's been reasons for the students to put in their all, and as Prempeh claim that they are going to do it over again, we wait and see what will happen in the near future. Let's see your comments about what you think about this competition, and what do you think about Prempeh College's performance. What do you also think about the other two schools, Prempeh and Kita? Kita was one of my favorite because of the surprise factor they were pulling, and the fact that they had never been to the finals before. It was just a whole new thing for some of us, and we were very, very, very glad to watch Kita do that much. they did well. I mean, they didn't win, but they did very well. They didn't win the finals, but look where they came. They came to a place where most of the good schools that we know of were not able to reach there. So yeah. So leave your comments about this in the section below, and then we'll see what you guys think about it. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.